All right, so you heard a little bit about my gluten story from previous videos. This one I want to tell you a little bit about how to defend your life. And what do I mean by that? As soon as I realized I had a gluten problem, I went to a restaurant. I was in Tucson, Arizona, as a matter of fact, and I remember this very clearly. And I went to a restaurant, and on the menu was duck tacos. And I love duck and I love tacos, right? So 2 types of tortillas, corn and flour. I asked, what kind of tortillas? And they told me, oh, they're corn. And I said, are you 100% sure, looking in the eyes of the server, that they're 100% corn, no flour, no gluten? Yes, 100% sure. Okay, great. I can enjoy some tacos, some duck tacos. So the tacos arrive, and the tortillas, one, are soft, right? Corn tortillas are usually kind of the hard ones, right? And they were not a very dark yellow color. They were kind of like a lighter yellow color. And I'm like, well, that's suspicious. But it smelled so good, and I was brand new to the gluten thing, so I didn't think twice about it, as a matter of fact. And I ate them, and they were delicious. Later, I took a little walk around the town. Then we went back to the hotel, and I fell asleep. And about, call it 2 o'clock in the morning, I get this pain. And I've had it before, and I hadn't connected it to the fact that it was gluten. But what it's like is this. It's like somebody squeezing your colon and not letting go. And it's not like, I've also had like food poisoning, and you eat something that doesn't agree with you, and sometimes you get these intense cramps, right? But it wasn't that, because, those come and go. Maybe it can be awful all night long. Maybe you can go to the restroom and get some relief. But no, this was different. This was literally 5 hours of someone squeezing your colon and not letting go. Painful. I was doubled over in a fetal position, and I would have called 911 and gone to the hospital. But honestly, I couldn't get out of the fetal position. It was too painful to either use the phone. And the thought of going to the hospital, there was no way I was getting out of that bed. I just had to be doubled over and just rocking and sort of praying that I was going to survive. It's awful. And anyway, so after that incident, I learned, don't take what a server says lightly, and be careful. Always read labels. Like any product that you buy, you can read the ingredients, but I'm always looking for the GF. Anything that could be suspicious, whether it has gluten or not, you look for that gluten-free label. Super important, because once you do the research, you'll find that they're putting flour in a lot of things. They put them in soups. They put them in salad dressings. They put flour in ice cream, as I had mentioned in another video. I mean, who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it, right? Who'd have guessed that they would be putting flour in ice cream? But lo and behold, it's in there. Chocolate bars. You got to look for the gluten-free label on chocolate bars. So many things. And the interesting part is I had this problem. I recognized it because I was having this terrible pain, but my wife at the same time stopped gluten the same time as I did. She didn't have any symptoms, but she's been off it, and she is thinner, healthier, has more energy. Like nobody can digest the gluten, the wheat. So it's just something to consider. And when you go to a restaurant, you'll know right away. If you go to a restaurant, you'll know right away if they're experienced in this issue. And many that you go to, they'll be like, oh yeah, you can have this, but you can't have that. And I'll make sure the chef knows, and they're very careful about it. But then you go to another restaurant, and you'll be like, hey, do you have gluten-free soy sauce? And they're like, oh yeah, we have it. Here you go. And then you got to ask again, is it gluten-free? Are you sure? And then they'll say, oh, it's sodium-free. It's not the same thing, is it? Right? So, there are people that know, and there are people that don't know. I don't want to say there's ones that care and that don't care, but a lot of people don't realize it's a real thing. So you have to defend your life. You have to make sure you don't take any gluten at all if you're sensitive to it, because you want to avoid the pain and illness. You don't want it. So I hope this is helpful. Again, I'm a coffee guy. I'm trying to sell you coffee. There's no gluten in this coffee. It's delicious. I hope you buy it, and I hope you like it, and I hope you benefited from my story. Thank you so much for listening.